His only interaction with law enforcement was in 2022, and that was a check welfare and an outside agency. This call was referenced his mental health. As the investigation has progressed, APD has learned of additional victims. APD is now aware of a total of 19 people that have been struck by gunfire. 3 people, including the suspect, were pronounced deceased at the scene. The 2 deceased victims on scene.
Y'all, the thing about this story for me is, I grew up in Austin, very familiar with Buford's, the bar that these people were shot at by this maniac. Um, and again, we're learning more and more about him and the victims and more people that were hit. But I used to go to this bar. I used to actually work 2 blocks down. This bar was on the corner of 6th Street, and I used to work 2 blocks down on 8th Street at a company, and we would all frequent this bar for happy hour after work and things like that. So this really hits close to home, literally. And it's just one of those things where I know people were trying to tie it to what's going on in Iran with Israel and Iran and the war that started there, because this guy was wearing a shirt that says, property of Allah. But let's continue to hear what she says, and I'll finish my thought on that.
As a loving daughter and a friend, Savitha Sean, 21 years of age, and a loving son and friend, Ryder Harrington, 19 years of age. These are 2 people that were dearly loved throughout this community, and that is quite clear. Both young individuals with bright futures ahead of them. On Monday, March 2nd, one of the victims, identified as a loving son and friend, George Pedersen, 30 years of age, was pronounced deceased, and he had just moved to Austin 2 weeks prior. At this time, 2 victims remain at local hospitals with 1 in.
I'm really getting tired of this nonsense, right? I'm tired of cowards that are willing to go in a place and target unassuming people to be their victims because they have something going on in their head. They have something going on in their life. And they feel like whatever's going on in their head, whatever's going on in their life, the way to resolve it or to make me feel better is I'm going to go take some innocent people out. And I'm not saying these people are innocent and free of sin in life. None of us are. But I'm saying innocent in the sense they've done this person no wrong. And this person left his apartment, got in his car, drove from Del Valley over half an hour away to 6th Street with firearms, drove around the block from the bar, circled it a few times, and then he decided to unload and then hop out his vehicle and continue to unload. And for what? Because you've got something going on? Your wife's leaving you? You're mad about something that's going on overseas? You have money problems? What is it? It doesn't matter is the answer. So it's a rhetorical question. The point is, I'm getting sick and tired of these cowards. Cowards. Unassuming victims. Did you know wrong? And I don't care if people try to make it think everything is not racial. Right? This doesn't have anything to do with race. So and this is the guy's wearing a shirt that says property of Allah. You know what? I'm not a Muslim, but I don't believe all Muslims are like this guy. He could have said property of Jesus and did it. That doesn't represent the Christian community. A lot of people assume that if someone is a Christian or if someone is whatever, the actions of that one person represent that community. Since when? That would mean for everything a white person has done to a black person, all white people should be held accountable. That would mean anything a black person does, this is why I don't trust black people. Hispanic, so forth. It's not like that. Individuals are individuals. Stop trying to lump people up. I'm just tired of it. It's senseless. And it's an act of cowardice. It's an act of cowardice. If this guy, if he wanted to take himself out, he didn't need to take out a bunch of people. What it, you know, I don't know what's going on in his life, but he didn't need to take out a bunch of other people. I'm getting tired of these cowards.
Critical condition. Before we begin showing the material, I want to acknowledge the complexity and the gravity of this scene. This viewing material that you're about to see is difficult to hear, difficult to see. We didn't do this for the shock value. This is about being as transparent as we can, and believe me, we had to look through video that was appropriate to release to all of you. But it was important, again, to understand the events that led up to this officer-involved shooting. Any video showing the suspect firing his pistol into the crowd is too graphic to show, and we will not share that publicly. We will begin by listening to 2 911 calls, and as you can imagine, we received numerous calls, 911 calls, which were hard to listen to. And these are the 2 that we're going to be sharing today.
And that's a 911 call, and obviously people are frantic, and you know it's not the clearest audio. People are scrambling and trying to get the information over to the police. Another thing is, I'm getting tired of the excuse, as far as if it was mental health or whatever. Listen, I don't care. We all go through things. We all have to take care of our mental health. So whether he's going through mental health or not, no excuse, not a blanket excuse. Another thing, people are saying, you know, how did this guy get the guns? He didn't have a record, right? He wasn't on their radar. He hadn't had any priors. The thing with people that are crazy and off, to me, anybody that does this has mental illness, right? Anyone that's willing to do this is mentally ill. Hold on one second. Anyone that's willing to commit such heinous acts of violence against unsuspecting victims is mentally ill, and that's still no excuse. Be on guard, guys. Be on guard. Be vigilant. The devil walks around like a roaring lion seeking who he can devour. And you have to be vigilant and sober and vigilant, and watch these people, and watch your surroundings, and watch after your loved ones, and pay attention, because it's a lot of psychos out there looking for innocent victims to destroy.
Our second call. Is anybody with you? Nobody shot with me, but I heard like 6 gunshots on your side. Everybody ducked down on the bottom floor. We're just right up.
My wife and I and some friends, we were just downtown. The weekend prior, celebrating her work. There was a party for someone at her job, and we went down there to celebrate, and we were just hanging out. Fortunately, I was, nothing like this happened, because no one, you can be as prepared as you want to be, but no one is prepared for bullets to come flying at them when you're sitting down having dinner, when you're sitting down having drinks, when you're checking out at the grocery store, when you're in a library, when you're in a movie theater, when you're at school, right? When you're driving. No one is expecting bullets to come at them. And if bullets hit you before you realize they've hit you, it could be already too late. So right there, I tell you, get yourself right with God. Get yourself right with your Creator, right? It is disgusting how some people are politicizing this tragedy and using it as an opportunity to try to make it an issue on gun control, to try to make it an issue on mental health, to try to make it an issue on anything other than what it is. And it's a psychopathic killer with firearms that I can't say he shouldn't have had, because until he did this, he had no reason to be banned from having them, correct? We're all here in Texas and we're all able to have our firearms. But we don't all go out and do this. It's hard to say what precautions that we could take, right? You just really have to stay prayed up out here. Have to stay prayed up, have to stay vigilant, have to stay out the way. And at the end of the day, when it's your time, it's your time. Hope that you're right with your maker. And so that's the thing. Again, nobody is ready for bullets to come flying through their window while they're sitting down at a bar, watching the game or talking to their friends, probably saying cheers, right? Ordering some appetizers, getting ready to go. These people are leaving. It's already 2 a.m. or close to it, heading out, probably a little inebriated or a lot inebriated. And so you're already and this guy's leaving his house to come and do destruction. Pure evil, pure sickness, pure madness. Be vigilant. Look out for yourself. Look out for your neighbors. Because this is just the world that we live in, guys. This is the world that we live in. And it's unfortunate that these tragedies have to happen. And yet we see things that are politicized. People going at it with each other. Instead of saying, you know what, let me love my fellow neighbor. Let me love more on my fellow man. People look at it as an opportunity to go at each other. It's the same thing with, Israel and Iran and what's going on with the war. People are dying on both sides. There's no high fives. If you are high fiving this war, something is wrong with you, because there are Israeli children dying. There are Palestinian, Iranian children dying. There was a school where people, I don't even want to get into this because it's so toxic. War is terrible. Bombing schools and bombing innocent civilians is terrible. On both sides, there's only a fraction of people that are signed up to do combat. The rest of the people are civilians. Civilians don't have anything to do with this. So it's sad. It's sad when there's children with their lives lost. Again, I just pray to God's mercy on their souls, right? And for those that are left behind, His mercy on their souls, and that they can have some sort of peace in rebuilding their lives. Because there's nothing funny about it. There's nothing to joke about it on either side. And people think they know what they're talking about. And so they get on social media and they get on their keyboards and they want to talk. Meanwhile, they're not on the front lines. It's not happening to their family. They're not volunteering to go somewhere and handle it. They're on their keyboards. And so it's sad. I think we should stop applauding when anyone's getting blown to smithereens. Right? Right? It would make sense. But people know everything, right? Everybody knows everything. Maybe if I type it in bold caps, it'll project bigger. It'll project louder. I don't understand these people. I don't understand these people that are sitting there and just able to celebrate people being killed, the loss of life. You know, it's one thing when, and it's still sad, but it's one thing if someone is there's certain things where if someone's a pedophile and hurting children, I'm not even going to say that as a Christian, I'm going to celebrate their demise if something were to happen to them. Now, will I be lying? I'd be lying if I said it doesn't bother me as much, right? And in their current state, if they're unrepentant, I'm like, maybe the world's better off, at least safer, at least children are safer. It's like if there's a serial killer or a rapist or a murderer on the loose, actively hurting people, like this maniac, right? That went to 6th Street, West 6th Street. This is the thing about it, is this is West 6th Street, and this is the part that people consider safer, right? East 6th used to be where we would go. Again, in the 90s, 2000s, we went around all up and down downtown. And again, like I said, we still go out here and there. But my point is, this is supposed to be the safer side of 6th Street. And yet this maniac found his way over there to do destruction. I got to go to a meeting. If you want to hear more about these topics, man, hit that like, hit that subscribe. It's your boy Austin, man. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry, because we're going to be talking about some more things, and we got to get to it. I got some things that we got to get to. So if you're with it, hit it. You dig?